for joining another episode of Divas of the Roundtable. Today I have NickyNicole, I am Ladybug, and we have Mr. John Wyche. He is a retired Air Force major that holds many degrees. We would like to thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Most notably, an MBA specializing in management information systems from the University of the Incarnate World in San Antonio, Texas. A Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration and Management from Florida State University, Tallahassee, Florida. Oh, here he go with the nose. At Maxwell Air Force Base, he was an assistant academic instructor and served as assistant professor. He won the Hennessy Award for Best Food Service Unit for Air Force Reserve units worldwide. In 6 years, he won an amazing 4 times. He helped organize the Air Force ROTC program at the University of West Florida, just to name a few of his accomplishments. His latest endeavor is conquering the homeless crisis in Jacksonville, our city. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not have the time to list everything in this guest portfolio. So without further ado, please, let's welcome to the show, Mr. John Wyche.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are glad to have you here today to talk about this homelessness issue in Jacksonville. So tell us what's going on and what are you doing in the community? Just tell us what is it all about?
You know, first of all, I said thank you for the opportunity to come on the show. And thank you for the great work that you guys are doing, man, just to get people's life's work or just to get the contributions that people are giving to the community. So I appreciate this platform.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I'll tell you, homelessness is an issue that we need to make political. Because what I'm finding out is the politicians think that homeless folk are invisible.
Yes.
And they're human. They're people.
They're people.
A lot of people are 3 checks away from being homeless. Yes. Some are 2, some are 1.
Yes. 1 with things in society now.
Yeah, and what happened is on my birthday, 25th of January, I put a post out, and within hours, I get 40,000 people that have checked or hearted or viewed the post.
Oh, wow.
4 days later, I got 71,000 people that have chimed in on the post. 28 days later, I got 250,000 people that have chimed in on the post. On LinkedIn, I got 150,000 people that chimed in on the post in terms of homelessness. Yes. So that first night, my birthday night, my wife comes through at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, well, are you still up? I said, sweet, there's a need. You know, people are responding. Somebody got to do something.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing. The bottom line is that our homeless citizens are not invisible.
Right.
And we need to make this thing political so that the politicians understand that. For instance, the mayor proposed last year $10 million for homelessness. The 19 city councilmen gave her a $1.2 million budget to attack homelessness. Oh, wow. Now, they went from 10, her proposal, and her proposal wasn't enough. So I went to her first budget committee meeting. She's going around the city. And my response to her is that if you ask for 10 and they gave you 1.2, how about you ask for 30 and they give you 3.2 kind of thing. So the bottom line is that there's a need. People need to stop looking at homeless people as if they're invisible because they are not.
You're right.
And I'm telling you, I am passionate about making sure that people see our homeless comrades. I'm just passionate about it.
So let me ask you this. What has the homeless rate in the city of Jacksonville, how has that been? I'm going to just say in the past 5 years, especially since COVID. I know COVID shook a lot of people to their core. I mean, jobs was lost. A lot of people got, displaced, and just, it was a big shift with everybody around the country as well as in the city. So what have you seen the homeless rate do in Jacksonville? since 2020. We're just going to go back 5 years.
Well, there's some numbers that say it's decreased slightly. My thing is, if you see around the country people increasing their budgets, and the mayor in this town says 10, and the 19 city councilmen say 1.2.
That's crazy.
There's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between they don't see it and they don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Right.
Or they don't see it and the community has not made them see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That part, I think we can impact. They do a census every year. I think a couple of months ago, they did the census, and they go around to different pockets, and they count the homeless.
Yep.
It's still too many when I come down off the interstate, and right there to the right, everybody sees it. They try to displace them and hide them. My thing is the rate. I don't care what their number is. The rate is still too much for what we see.
Yes.
And if we can spend billions of dollars giving it to a billionaire, and if we could do that part, then how about taking a certain percentage of that, 30 million, and donate it to the homeless? Now, the other part of that is this. You've got a lot of organizations, I call them status quo placeholders. You got a lot of organizations. One in particular, Changing Homelessness, has not been responsive.
Oh, wow.
And I call them out all the time. They have not been responsive, but they've got some of these shelters around this doggone place actually have mold in them.
Oh, no.
And I've helped numerous people. One in particular, she's a mother. She had a 4-year-old and they had to go to the hospital because they were in one of these shelters, and the mold was getting to them.
Oh, wow.
But when I told that to the mayor, when I told that to the city council, they acted as if they didn't know. Well, that's part of my advocacy. My advocacy is take whatever the people say, and make sure these 19 city councilmen know and the mayor knows, because that way down the road they can't say they didn't know.
Right.
That's what I was going to ask you when you said about the councilman. Do you think it's more of a situation of out of sight, out of mind, or is it homelessness is not prevalent in their areas that they are councilmen over? Do you think it's because it's in another area? You know how like across the tracks, and that's the area that homelessness is in, so they're not acknowledging it or following through with trying to help the cause because it's not in their area, it's not affecting their people. Do you think that's what it is? I
think there are some city councilmen that believe and understand. I think the other ones that don't just need to be educated. Now there's some that are just going to be lost. But politically, what you have to understand is that we got 19 city councilmen. All you got to do is get 10 of them.
Right.
Yes.
Anything over 10 is extra. Right. So all you got to do is educate 10 so that when a bill comes before the council surrounding homelessness, if you get 10, you won. So I think there are a number of them that just need to know. And once they're educated about it, once they get a text, especially from me, I take what the people send me, their story, I copy and paste, I take their names out of it, I take anything that will attach to them, and I send it to the mayor, I send it to 19 city councilmen, and now they can't say I didn't know.
Right.
So then the other part is I need to get people to start coming to these city council meetings. I need to get them to start coming to the finance committee meetings, and I need to get them to come to the there's a homelessness commission meeting that I need them to start coming to, because if they don't see you, you're invisible.
Invisible, correct.
Yes.
And it's not that they're bad people. Right. It's just I think they need to be now some of them are bad, but I think that they need to be educated.
They need to be educated.
And I think once they're educated, they'll do the right thing most of the time.
And I just want to add to what Nicole was saying, because I did do my research, and this does come from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. So out of the population, we know that whites make up a majority of the population, but they also make up a majority of the homelessness. So they make up 50% of the homelessness. African Americans make up 30%, 37%. Hispanics, Latinos make up 28%. Multiracial makes up 6%. American Indian, 4%. Asians, 2%. And Native Hawaiians make up 2%. I also want to add that in the state of Florida, you were talking about the increase. It says that significantly our homelessness has increased 43% in 2024.
In the whole state.
Just in Jacksonville. In Jacksonville, it has increased 43%. And homelessness, it's many causes of homelessness. It's family violence, mental health, physical health, loss of employment, limited housing, drug and alcohol addiction, and traumatic experiences. But who hasn't experienced those? So these are ordinary people who experience everyday situations. And this could happen to any of us at any time. So we can't think that we're above or this. We can't. This can't happen to us because this can happen to anyone.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wyche. I wanted to ask you: did you think that, or what are some of the programs that you believe have to run hand in hand with helping the homeless? Like Ladybug just mentioned, you have mental health, you have drug addiction, you have some people probably are homeless because they had to flee a domestic violence situation.
Yeah.
So.
I've had a number of those, by the way.
What are the other organizations that can work cohesively with what you're trying to do in helping the homeless, that they all can kind of come together to help these people that's in these situations?
Well, what I've found is status quo sometimes trumps anybody's best efforts. What do I mean by that? The organizations that are already here, they're doing a great job. But we still got what's the percent? 24% increase in homeless.
43%.
43.
That's a lot.
The organizations that have always been here, they hadn't impacted. Okay. So what that tells me is that, and I'm not saying any of those organizations are not going to go work they are. But what I'm saying is that they're not doing enough.
Gotcha.
And it's not always resources. Sometimes it's just connecting with the right people in the neighborhood.
Yes.
I always said, I'm a political consultant, and I always challenge the Democrat and Republican Party at the top level with this. I don't want you to bring Susie into the black community on election or around election time, because Susie, who's a normal young Anglo white little girl, she don't even know what Main Street is. And she's going to tell the black people in their communities, and Susie getting paid, by the way, by the Democratic and Republican Party. And she's going to tell Miss Gladys, my mom, how to energize the community.
Right.
Man, Susie need to get out of here. You need to give my mama that doggone salary you giving Susie, so that you can really increase the percentage of black folks voting, because they're going to listen to my mama when she was alive. Then they're going to listen to Susie, but Susie always gets the job.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I'm saying is that there needs to be an inclusion of more than status quo that's already here. Because you got great organizations already here. There are other ways to impact 44% increase in the doggone homelessness in Jacksonville. Come on, man.
That's a lot.
I'm not saying that the homeless folk and the homeless apparatus is not doing anything, but they need to do something else.
Yes, so the existing resources or the existing organizations, as you're saying, basically need to take a step back, regroup, and restructure, because what they're doing.
And be more inclusive.
Yeah, and be more inclusive. And that word, is so important, especially now in these times. We see the political shift and everything that's happening. A lot of the resources that some of these people was dependent on are being taken away anyway, because of the new administration that's come in and, are taking a lot of these programs. And I feel like, to be honest with you, it's only going to get worse. We're still... basically what? We're going into the second
month, third or fourth month, whatever.
Yeah.
Third
month. So I think it's going to get worse before it even gets better. And that's why we wanted to have you on here to kind of make awareness, because like you said, people showing up to these meetings, to these, whatever.
Political forums.
The political forums.
Finance committee, the homeless commission meetings. the city council meetings. They actually need to show up
Yes.
so that they can be a visible representation of homelessness. This weekend, me and my wife actually made sure that a mother and 2 young adult sons are housed right now. They're going to be housed for 7 days because of me and my wife and my hotel owners. I've got some great, supportive, caring owners of hotels that have stepped forward.
Okay.
One group in particular is responsible for 4,000 beds in the Southeast. It's Harry Patel, John Patel, and Amish Patel. They're out of Atlanta.
Okay.
Their offices overlook the Braves Stadium. So I mean, but they've got a heart. And then I've got Harish here in Jacksonville, who also owns a hotel. So I've got some great support system in terms of guys that actually own stuff. I had one of the owners come all the way from Atlanta, 5.5 hours, for a 30-minute meeting with city folk to tell them what he's doing in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And we want to bring that same homeless apparatus that he's already done in Chattanooga, Tennessee, here to Jacksonville. Okay. So the critical thing is I've got real people who actually have skin in the game, who actually own hotels, and we just want to be part of the solution. We don't want to be the entire solution, because hotels are not the entire solution.
Right.
But it's part of the solution. Okay. We've been focusing on veterans homelessness, female veterans in particular. And I've got a young lady, her name is Erica Postway, Jamaican. I always joke with her. I said, boy, them Jamaicans know how to work. But the bottom line is that they do.
They do.
And they've got a work ethic that's compared to nobody. Okay. And she's right now doing 2 homes, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2-car garage. She's doing it right now. It's coming out of the ground. And we're getting ready to schedule a groundbreaking. Okay. Sometime later this month. We're going to invite everybody. Okay. It's in the bottom. I got a history lesson about the bottom in Jacksonville.
Yes, my family's from there.
Yeah. So it's on the bottom, but I'm telling you, we're talking 2 bath, 2-car garage, 3 bedrooms for women veterans. So we're tacking it on hotels. We got private developers that have come to and contacted me and said that they want to help. I've got a meeting next Wednesday with a private developer. They got like 10 houses around Jacksonville, and they want to get more. We're even looking at talking to the school board to do get some of these old schools.
Those abandoned, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Yes. And the great thing about these guys, especially the Patels, is they bring their own money to the table. But we need to leverage that money with the city money. Yes. And instead of giving these status quo organizations that have not decreased the percentage of homelessness, how about adding to the potential to the potential to correct the problem.
Right. So my question is, how do you think the new Florida law, the HB?
Yeah, I know where you're going.
HB 1365. This was a law that came into place October 1st, 2024. It makes it illegal to sleep in public spaces, and it went into effect October 1st. 2024. And it says Jacksonville is working on a plan to mitigate homelessness and address the new state law.
Well, they've got a plan. The plan is they gave, I think, $1 million to the fire department. And they've got the fire department going around, when they see pockets of people that are homeless, they're going around and they're asking, what can they do to help? How can they help? And then part of their plan is, and I see the validity of it, but part of their plan is when the fire department identifies someone that's homeless, and if they want to go back to where they came from, their home city or state, they will give them a bus ticket to go back to where they came from. Now, when I first heard it, I said that's not right. But then the impetus for that is that Go back to where you got support. You got family,
yes, right.
where you got a church maybe you grew up with, that kind of thing. So it makes sense. But my thing is, we're in America. I thought you were supposed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and so how you going to criminalize having a mental issue, criminalize losing your house, criminalize just being homeless?
Right.
How you gonna do that?
Yeah.
And you want to sell Bibles, but you're gonna criminalize someone at their lowest point, and you got enough money to take me to the jail.
Yeah.
And feed me them nasty meals at the jail. You got enough money for that.
Yeah.
But you don't have, how about taking that, but whatever it costs to do that, how about putting that toward the person you're trying to put in the doggone jail cell for sleeping? They sleep on the side of the road for a reason.
Yeah.
They need, for instance, they need more shelter beds in Jacksonville.
Yeah. They do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, I saw a couple of reports with 26 beds here, 10 beds here.
What is that going to do?
And the other thing that I wanted to let you guys know is that I'm working with some developers right now, JWB. And I know a lot of people have certain whatever with them, but I'm talking to them about they own the old Salvation Army building.
Okay.
And the founders have said that, if you can find someone that would like to add to the shelter beds, we're not going to do anything with the old Salvation Army building for 2 years. So if you could get someone to do the renovations, they said about $100,000 or $150,000, we'll give it to you for 2 years. Now they're gonna want it in 2 years, but at least we can help people get off the doggone.
Yeah.
And can you imagine how many beds are in that old Salvation Army building that you could do? Those are the kinds of things outside the box that the status quo hadn't thought about, because they just worried about getting the next group of grants so they can keep getting their salary, and the percentage of homelessness keeps going up in Jacksonville.
Yep, keeps
I
going
wanted
up.
to ask you, have any of the top earners in the city, like the Jaguars?
No.
Nobody has offered anything?
He said it real quick.
That's amazing to me.
He said it really, really quick.
That's amazing to me.
I mean, just really quick.
But what they need to understand is, I'm not going to take your money and you tell me what to do when you hadn't been out here talking to these people and taking out of your own pocket. I'm not into sending somebody else, because that's the game sometimes. Find somebody like me, send somebody with some money, and the next thing you know, you're doing the same thing the status quo folks were doing.
Yes.
That don't work for me.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I wanted to, I just also too wanted to go on with you with saying about just getting money and funding for it. I made a notation in my notes that the United States, in the United States, you can get government funding to build a prison faster than you could to do a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
that's crazy to me. And I just had the thought, I mean, it may be true, it may not be true, but I was like, if they kind of clean up some of the homeless and, pick them up and criminalize them, like you said, now you got more free work in the jails.
Prison system.
In the prison system. You have free labor.
Yeah.
So, we got to get...
This thing is insidious.
Yes.
I've got a one lady, she's 59, and her first text to me or email to me was, I'm 59, Mr. John. I don't want to die homeless. I mean, just let that soak in. Even when I just said it, a chill went through me. I'm 59, and I don't want to die homeless. Come on, man. So she's one of the people that me and my wife took care of this weekend too. But I'm 59, and again, I want to reiterate, I need the homeless population, citizens, and anybody who's related to them to start coming to these city council meetings and talk for 3 minutes. Just say, hey, just so they'll know. Go to the finance committee meeting, because that's where the money is. Where they're going to decide how the money gets dispersed. And then go to this homelessness commission meeting.
Okay.
I need advocacy, and I don't want to talk all the time. Matter of fact, I've started going to the city council meeting. I don't see it work, because I just want to see who's for the things that are coming up
Yes.
in the city council. I'm just doing some research right now, but the bottom line is that at some point I'm going to need to energize the community, and not just the people who are impacted by or who are actually living the homeless life right now, but the people who are impacted and the people who know somebody who's homeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so doing my research, I know that
I love her, right? And both of y'all, boy, the thing that's different between you guys is y'all do some research when y'all come on here. Y'all don't let me pontificate. Y'all got real research, and that's a good thing.
So
Yes.
I know we have visually seen it in Jacksonville as well, because you've seen certain areas of town. You see more pockets of homelessness people as well. But when doing the research, I didn't realize that Florida makes up one of the states that masses the 4 states that have the highest population in the United States. So it's 4 states. It's New York, California, Texas, and Florida. Those 4 states make up 50% of the homeless population in the United States. So I don't know if Florida residents Jacksonville realizes this. That's not a good statistics to have. That's not a good stat to have, that we are part of that and our homelessness people are suffering. We're supposed to be this big, bold, bright, innovative city, but yet our homelessness people are suffering. And we all know somebody's homeless. Homelessness is just, let me go over my...
That's right. I love y'all, boy. Y'all something else.
So it's just not just you're living out on the street. It's lack of housing. It's various living situations. People experience homelessness may live in emergency shelters, transitional housing. It's different types of homelessness. Long-term, short-term, infrequent individuals who are not living on the streets or shelters. Then there's chronic homelessness. Then there's hidden homelessness. Then there's people who hide it, who live in cars, because we have a lot of people who hide and live in cars. And then you have the definitely not spoken about are the children as well. The children, because I am a teacher, so I know there are kids who live in hotels, or there are kids who live in vans with their parents, and we were like, well, yeah, okay, so let's see if we can get them stuff. Let's see if they give them some food for the weekend. So there are a lot of different things to this homelessness. It's a big umbrella that we just have not uncovered and that we're not willing to talk about sometimes.
Well, and the other thing is that we've got veterans who are homeless. Homeless. One of the cases that really kind of focused me on this issue, especially that first night, was a young lady that I subsequently was able to put her in Schaubacher's center, but there was a transition and she was abused. And she was in one of these local shelters, and her abuser, who's a subhuman person as far as I'm concerned, I wish I had a bat with him, because I hate it when a subhuman male, not a man, beats on a woman.
Yeah.
So anyway, I can pontificate further, but I won't. But the bottom line is that he found her.
Oh, wow.
At a shelter.
Ooh.
And the shelter was supposed to have some kind of security layer.
Right.
Yes.
And they didn't. So she's one of the people that me and my wife have helped. I've had one person reach out and say, I want to help. So what I did is I sent them to a nonprofit that I got some association with. As a matter of fact, it's a nonprofit that the young lady who's building the homes, the 2 homes.
Okay.
It's her nonprofit. Because I don't want anything. If ever they call me, I send them straight to her, because she's doing the work. She's a young firebrand, and she's smart, intelligent, and she's got a daughter that she's doing the same thing with in terms of developing her entrepreneurial spirit. So that's the mechanism. I got private landlords. I got hotel owners that have over 4,000 rooms in the Southeast that'll come 5.5 hours for a 30-minute meeting with the city folks. who's done it in Chattanooga. I've got local hotel owners, and I've got just people like builders like Erica Postway. So the universe sends you what you need.
Yes.
You just got to be available to access it and do what you need to do with it. And what other thing I always do, and my wife is not gonna like this, but I'll say it anyway because she always tells me, "Don't you be John Wyche." But the bottom line is that I can't be anything. But the other thing is that I challenge these churches and these people that are tithing in these churches. How about tithe and help somebody homeless? I'm not talking about tithe and donate it to some status quo organization. I'm talking about, and I'm not just talking about tithe it and give it to the person on the side of the road because they're just as important. People need to do that too. But how about take some of that tithe and don't give it to the doggone church, give it to the doggone homeless.
Yeah.
Because you are directly impacting them.
Yeah.
If you go to the church, I don't know who's going to put their hands in the pot because the church is doing a good job now. I'm not saying, let me say that because my wife won't be say that too because she knows they're going to beat me up if I don't say that. But the bottom line is that I am fearless when it comes to helping people. Fearless. You know why? Because I know the universe and good Lord got me.
Amen.
You know why I know that? Because I got receipts.
You was talking about these receipts. We was talking about these receipts.
I just want to add too that I work in Los Angeles, and occasionally we have to go up to Seattle. Seattle and Los Angeles has a huge amount of homeless people. Like where my boat is docked at, just to go to the store. Sometimes it's fecal matter on the sidewalks. It's people was just living up there, going to the post office a block or two away. It's encampments everywhere. Along the highways in Seattle, it's tent city. And because you don't see it like that in Jacksonville, that doesn't mean it's not happening. I've had some of my shipmates had to come out here working with Crowley. They had a meeting here. Crowley did a meeting. So a lot of the guys from the West Coast came out. And one of the captains told me, he said, "Nicole, I didn't see no homeless people in Jacksonville."
We have them.
That's because of the small clusters. And up there and in Los Angeles, it's so spread out everywhere. Because the cost of living is just...
It's astronomical.
Astronomical out there. So you have way more people. But he didn't think we had a homeless problem because he didn't see it. You see what I'm saying? So people think out of sight, out of mind, it don't happen. And I said, "Oh, we have them." I said, but a lot of times they're by the city mission or, they're located in certain
homeless shelters.
Yeah, homeless shelters and stuff like that. I said in the daytime, our homeless, they wander around and do what they do, so you probably just saw a regular person walking down the street not knowing that at night they kind of group and go back to this little cluster of homeless people because he didn't think he saw any homeless people the whole time they was here.
They're here. But my whole thing was with the homeless thing. When we had the Super Bowl,
they cleared them out.
It was cleared.
Yeah.
So what method did they use or what kind of planning did they use for the Super Bowl?
Maybe it was the police presence, maybe, in the area.
Well, I guarantee you there was a structure that says they need to disappear. We don't care where you put them, but they need to disappear. The bottom line is that if you could do that, you can do better.
Yep.
You could do better.
You could do better.
Correct.
If you can do that, you could do better.
Yeah.
If you can come up with this plan for a weekend or for a few days, you can come up with a plan that'll make your city grow even better. And it'll help out the community. And then those people can become productive citizens in society.
Well, the great thing about the owners, the hotel owners that I'm talking about, we have a plan and they've committed to it, that will take a percentage of the rooms at the hotel. They're gonna buy a trailer to put on site, 2 trailers, 1 trailer for wraparound services. But like you said, there's people that need housing assistance. There's people that need mental health. There's people that need food. There's people that need all that. And then we've got another trailer that's going to be used to feed 3 meals a day.
That's good.
These are out of the box kind of thought process. These status quo folks would never think about that, because all they think about is how to increase to 44%. I mean, you know, they're not focused on that. They need to be focused on the people, and that's what I bring. You know, there's a reason why I tell people all the time, I got an MBA, used to be assistant professor, all that stuff. At the end of the day, I'm me. I'm that John Wyche. My wife always said, because she know I don't play. Because I don't have time. I got more time in my rearview mirror than I have in my front mirror.
Yes.
So when I go to see my maker, we're not gonna have no conversation about go to hell because you didn't listen to me.
Right.
We're gonna have a conversation that I told them down on earth to go wherever, to go to hell, because I'm listening to the good Lord.
Yes.
Because you got to understand what you're here for, and I know this is part of my the reason I'm here. And I'm passionate about these people, and they need a champion. They need somebody that's a fighter.
Yes.
I ain't got no problem. I ain't scared of my blood.
Amen.
Well, before we go, you know, can you just let the people know what they can do to help your cause? Just let the people know.
Easy. You can get involved. You can get involved not just verbally, you can get involved financially. And again, I'm not getting none of the money. I'm sending it straight to a nonprofit that's doing the work in the community right now. And you can advocate. I need folks to start coming to these city council meetings every other Tuesday. I need folks to come to these finance meetings of the city of Jacksonville. And I don't know when they meet. I don't know their frequency, but their finance meeting, you can go on the city of Jacksonville's website and figure that out. And I need you to go to the upcoming homeless coalition commission meetings. That's what I need you. And then I need you to stop thinking these people are invisible. They are not invisible. They are like us. That's why I like Kendrick Lamar.
All right. So we thank you, Mr. Wyche, for your knowledge of information on homelessness and how we can help bring this community together on this issue of homelessness. So again, this is Divas of the Roundtable. This is NickyNicole.
That's right.
Hey, this is our tugboat queen. So think about her when you think about wealth and prosperity.
Yes.
Spicy is not here, but when she is on the road, when you see her with that FedEx truck, please be cautious of those truck drivers. I am Ladybug. I've been a teacher for 27 years. So again, this is Divas of the Roundtables. We thank you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you, and y'all be blessed and have a good one. Bye-bye.